Hey guys, this is the Fat Panda with yet another video gym challenge. I've been having quite a few challengers lately, so I'm actually getting the chance to battle and, put up more of these videos, so that's pretty cool. Today's challenge is for, if I pronounce it correctly, it's Alidsl or something like that. I just call him Alidsl, but, I'm pretty bad at pronouncing things, as you may have noticed from watching any of my other video names, or videos of battles and Pokemon names, and you notice I really can screw things up pretty easily. So, he's going to be Alidsl for me, or Alidsl, because I'm really bad at pronouncing things. So, from now on, he's Alidsl. Anyway, so this is his first challenge against me. Actually, I think this is his first challenge in the league. He was the Ice Gym leader for a while. I don't think he was a challenger before that. I think he went straight to being a gym leader. So I think I might be the first gym leader he's ever actually faced, which is pretty cool. Looking at his team, it's actually pretty unique, which is weird considering it's a rain team, but I think it's the only rain team that a challenger is currently using in the league. Most people generally use like good stuff teams. They don't generally go for like a rain or sand or sun theme, especially because not only is Swift Swim Drizzle is always banned, but in the league we've also banned the chlorophyll and sand rush combos as well. So you don't generally see too many weather teams roaming around, but he's using one that's pretty cool. He's also using Jinx, which I love. Jinx is a really fun Pokemon, but because her defenses, at least on the physical side, are so terrible, you don't see her that much. The rock and the weakness, and the fighting neutral, because ice psychic, she takes a real heavy beating. Other than that, he's got a fairly, a pretty standard, rain team. He's got the Dragonite. He's got Volcarona, which is pretty good at, taking out opposing steel and grass types if it has to. Breloom was a little surprising. I would almost expect something like a Toxicroak instead of it, but, Breloom's pretty much good no matter what he's doing. The Politoed's a staple. Jellicent's is a very, very good defender. So, I'm interested to see what's going to happen in this battle as I'm thinking about it. So let's see what goes on. I was expecting him to lead with Politoed and something, maybe Breloom for Spore, but he actually leads with Jinx and Breloom, which I wasn't expecting. I go with the standard, unless I see something really disturbing. I generally start with Cresselia Medicham. In this case, I fake out the Breloom because I'm fearing a Spore. I'm assuming the Jinx is probably just going to set up a Nasty Plot or something, but it actually goes and uses Lovely Kiss, which I wasn't expecting. If I'd known that, I probably would have tried to fake out the Jinx, but actually, Alidsl told me in the chat later that he lined up 2 sleep attacks. Evidently, they were both aimed at Cresselia. Or he meant to aim them both at Cresselia and put her to sleep, but unfortunately he accidentally aimed one at my Medicham, so I just I get the Trick Room up for free, and I switch out my Medicham the next turn, and actually aim a Psychic that turn at the Breloom to finish it off. I really just don't feel like dealing with any Breloom shenanigans. It's evidently a Technoloom and not a Poison Heal, because it did never get poisoned, but I just don't want to deal with it. And then he does go and slip the Nasty Plot up on his Jinx, which won't unfortunately ever do much for it because, it is a quick Pokemon, which means it's going to go dead last in a Trick Room. He does bring in the Politoed now, sets up the rain. I don't really have any way to deal with, I don't have any way to cancel out rain, but I don't really care. It's going to help, he hits a couple Hurricane users or something, but I'm not really worried about them. He goes and protects on his Politoed, but I set up a Helping Hand Rock Slide, so it's going to hit his Jinx anyway, and, it won't hurt the Politoed, but the Jinx just goes down, falls like a rock, because of that weakness to rock-type attacks and terrible defenses. It really stood no chance there. A little bit of Life Orb damage, but that happens all the time. I have 4 Life Orbs on my team after all. And now he brings out his Jellicent, and now he's got a really, really defensive opening. or defensive team out, I just go for the crazy wild charge on Politoed. I was fairly sure it would take it out, even at max, even if it had max health, max defense. But it actually survives with, as I found out later, 10 HP. So I was a little irritated about that because I take tons of recoil damage for using my wild charge. And then the Electros gets burned on top of that. So my Electros is not happy, and I'm a little disappointed because I'd actually lined up a Psychic instead of wild charge because I was instead of a Helping Hand, because I was so sure it would take Politoed out. And not only that, I aimed a Psychic at Jellicent just to get some extra damage in. So I'm like, crap, I could have taken Politoed out, if I'd used Helping Hand or just switched targets on the Psychic. I felt so stupid. And not only that, so now both members of my team on my team out right now are statused. Cresselia is toxic, so I know it's going to fall before the end of the battle. And my Electros is burned, which really sucks, because it's not going to do nearly as much anymore. So now I go for the Helping Hand, and like a dumbass, I decided to use Rock Slide, I believe. So Politoed, of course, protects this turn, protects every other turn as far as I know. And, I use Rock Slide, it does nothing. It's just pathetic damage. I should have just gone for a wild charge and suicided out. But I thought, I got greedy and thought, I can take down this Politoed, not even remembering the fact that it had a Protect up. And with leftovers, it pretty much recovered everything I did. So I was kind of irritated about that. And then I take all of my status damage. And at this point, I'm just kind of like, I didn't feel too great. I can't believe I'm getting stalled out in double battle. That never happens. I mean, my Trick Room just ended. Yeah, it's just irritating. This turn, I was fairly sure one or two of them would aim attacks at my Electros, just to take it out. So I knew my Cresselia would definitely survive this turn, and it would get up a Trick Room. I was hoping it would survive the toxic damage. I wasn't paying attention to how much the last turn did, but I was fairly sure it wouldn't do, 30% of my health yet. Because I wanted my Cresselia to survive to get one more attack off. And it takes the toxic damage, and it drops, fairly far. It drops 80 health, so I knew, good, I can send my Magnezone out, and I can get, a good turn off. And this turn he actually goes for the double protect. I'm assuming he just wanted to make sure that my Cresselia fell. He was probably expecting it to Helping Hand or use an attack or something, but while my Carmelo goes for a Thunderbolt, I actually used Lunar Dance on Cresselia. I just sacrificed it here to bring back my Medicham, heal off the Life Orb damage it took, as well as curing it of sleep. So in his effort to stall me out there, I actually managed to fully heal the most important member on my team, at least in my opinion. My Medicham, is by far the MVP of almost every match. So I bring him in, and the Lunar Dance heal will go off here. He had no idea this was coming, otherwise he would have probably just gone for the attack. But, now I have two fully healthy, incredibly strong members of my team here. I fake out the Politoed because it's the only one I can. I can't fake out a Ghost type. And I use Thunderbolt on the Jellicent. I was fairly sure this would take it out. I didn't think it was so bulky that it could take a Life Orb Thunderbolt from Magnezone. And it couldn't, so it does go down here. And now he's just got this, very, very hurt Politoed sitting here. He goes and he sends out Volcarona, which I thought was kind of odd. In the chat, he admitted that he completely and utterly forgot that I had Rock Slide on my Medicham. So, I Volt Switch out on the Politoed. I was expecting a Protect, actually, but it didn't happen, so I was pretty happy with that. But so I bring Carmelo out, and I actually send in my Reuniclus, just to get some cleanup damage in there. I have something with HP Ice out in the battle, so I can deal with, I don't even have to think about dealing with the Dragonite. But then the full power of a rock slide is dumped right on the Volcarona. So, 4 times a week he's just destroyed by it, since it's not even, it doesn't even do spread damage. So he sends out the last member of his team. He sends out his Dragonite. I don't understand why, but people always save the Dragonite for last. So every time someone has a Dragonite on their team, it's always out there by itself. I don't know, maybe it's just some bias against Dragonite or something, or they're just, saving it for the cleanup. I just find it interesting that no one ever uses Dragonite earlier. But, it can't take a Hidden Power Ice and a Rock Slide, not even with the multi-scale. So it falls there, and I take him out. I got a little bit scared in the beginning, with the lovely kiss, and I was worried about that might kill my momentum, but it didn't really, because I was able to use Cresselia to actually knock out his Breloom. That felt good. I'm a little worried for the next battle. If he opens with the same strategy, I could actually be in a decent amount of trouble. If he goes for the double sleep on Cresselia and actually gets, I have to fake out probably the Breloom because I want to rely on the chance that Jinx might actually miss. If it does that, that would be fantastic. But he could always surprise me and do something else. He does have 2 team members I've never seen before, so I'm curious to see what those are, and if he even decides to use them. All in all, it was a very interesting first battle. I think his is the second scariest team so far, mostly because I know he's the only one that truly has the potential to completely disrupt my strategy. If he can prevent my Trick Room from going up, I could actually be in a lot of trouble. But, I'll deal with that next time, see what he does, if he changes anything. But I'm expecting, a good battle next time from Alidsl. So, this is the tehfatpanda signing out.